All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful ideas out there, the power of the present moment. And look, this isn't some high-level philosophy. It's a real practical guide for finding a bit of peace in our crazy, chaotic world. And you know what? Our journey starts right now. Okay, before we get into the weeds, let's just do something really simple together. Right where you are, just take one deep breath. Go on. In and out. So for that 1 second, where was your mind, right? You probably weren't thinking about that email you have to send or something dumb you said yesterday. You were just here. You were present. And that simple feeling, that's the core of everything we're going to talk about. Okay, so if being present is that simple, why is it so ridiculously hard to do all the time? Well, it's because most of us are living day in and day out in a place that makes it, well, almost impossible. We're living inside the prison of our own minds. You know that feeling, right? You're trying to fall asleep and your brain is just not having it. It's replaying conversations, worrying about all the what ifs. That's the voice we're talking about. It's like having this roommate in your head that just never, ever shuts up. Always commenting, always judging, always predicting. And man, is it exhausting. Okay, now this right here is the first huge breakthrough. This idea literally changes the entire game. Think about it. If you can hear that voice in your head, who is the one doing the hearing? You see, you can't be the voice. You're the one aware of the voice. You're the silent awareness behind it all. And realizing that, that's step one to getting free. I love this analogy because it just makes so much sense. Think of your thoughts, your feelings, all your problems. They're like clouds. They just drift in and drift out. Sometimes they're big and dark and stormy, right? Other times they're light and fluffy. But here's the thing. You're not the clouds. You are the sky. You're the huge, unchanging, open space where all of that stuff happens. And you can actually learn to just watch those clouds float by without letting them become your entire world. So why do we get so wrapped up in our thoughts? Well, there's a name for the culprit, the ego. The ego is that little voice, that part of you that defines itself by, well, stuff. Your job title, your car, your social media likes, even your problems. It's always whispering in your ear, hey, if you just get that promotion, then you'll finally be happy. But what happens when you get it? The ego just moves the goalposts. It's a game that is literally designed so you can never, ever win. And you know what the ego's favorite playground is? Time. It loves to drag you back into the past to stew over regrets, or it shoves you into the future to spin up all kinds of anxiety. But let's be real for a second. The past? It's gone. It's just a collection of memories. The future? It's not here yet. It's pure imagination. The only thing that is actually tangibly real, the only place your life is ever happening, is right now. But you know, it's not just our regular thoughts about the past and future that keep us stuck. There's something else, something deeper and honestly a lot more powerful that can pull us out of the present moment. It's like this hidden reservoir of old, unresolved emotion. I mean, think about it. Have you ever just completely overreacted to something tiny, and later you're like, whoa, where did all that come from? Or why does a small criticism from someone sometimes feel like a full-on personal attack? Well, there's a reason for that. The author Eckhart Tolle has a name for this. He calls it the pain body. And what is that? It's basically a buildup of every single hurt, every betrayal, every loss you've ever had that you didn't fully feel and let go of. It just sits there dormant most of the time, but then something in the present triggers it and it wakes up. And it's hungry. It hijacks your emotions. And suddenly, you're feeling a level of pain that is way, way out of proportion to what just happened. So, this is the crucial part. How do we deal with this thing? Well, when we're not paying attention, we actually feed it. We feed it by trying to push it down or by lashing out and taking it out on other people. But there's another way. The conscious path is to starve it. And you don't do that by fighting it. Nope. You just observe it. You stay present with that feeling in your body, but you refuse to let your mind build a big, dramatic story around it. And when you stop feeding it with your thoughts, it eventually starves and dissolves. And this all points to a really profound truth. Okay, picture this. You're stuck in traffic. Is the traffic itself suffering? No, it's just cars. The suffering is that voice in your head screaming, this shouldn't be happening. I'm going to be late. This is awful. It's the resistance. The second you drop the resistance and just accept, okay, I'm in traffic, the suffering, poof, it just disappears, even though you're still sitting in the same car. All right, so we've looked at the prison of the mind. We've talked about this pain from the past. So now let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about the key that unlocks the door. let's talk about finding freedom right here, right now. So what's the secret weapon here? It's awareness. It's that simple. The moment you become aware of a thought, you're not lost in it anymore. You've created this little gap, this little bit of space between you and the thought. And the same thing works for emotional pain. And inside that space, that's where your power is. That's where you remember, oh right, I'm the observer, I'm not the thought. That space, that's freedom. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It frames our biggest struggles so perfectly. Anxiety, that's just living in the future, worrying about a million what-ifs that haven't happened. Depression, so often that's living in the past, replaying things that are long gone. But peace? Well, peace can only be found in one place, at one time, right now. This is such a powerful thing to realize. Next time you feel that fear creeping in, just stop and ask yourself one simple question. What is actually wrong in this exact moment? Not in an hour, not tomorrow, but right now. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, the answer is nothing. You're breathing. You're sitting here. You're okay. The terror isn't in the now. It's in the scary movie your mind is projecting about the future. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But the big question is, how do we actually do it? How do we make this real? Let's break this whole philosophy down into a simple daily practice that anyone can do. And look, these are not some complicated hour-long meditation techniques. Think of them as tiny little doorways into the present moment that you can step through anytime, anywhere. Feeling stressed at work? Just take one single conscious breath. Washing the dishes? Don't think about your to-do list, just wash the dishes. Feel the warm water on your hands, smell the soap. About to snap back in an argument? Just pause, take a breath. Every single one of these little acts is like a rep at the gym for your presence muscle. There's this great old story about a monk who's asked, "What's your secret to enlightenment?" And he just says, "When I eat, I eat. When I walk, I walk." And the person asking is totally confused and says, "But everybody does that." And the monk just smiles and says, "No. When you eat, your mind is in 1,000 other places. When I eat, I just eat." And that's the whole point. Awakening isn't some far-off mystical state. It's just being completely 100% engaged with the life that's right in front of you. And that simple story really leaves us with one last massive question to think about. We spend so much of our lives searching for happiness, right? We think it's in the next promotion, the next relationship, the next vacation. But what if all that peace, all that joy, the life you've been so desperately looking for, what if it isn't out there somewhere in the future? What if it's been right here all along, just buried underneath all the noise, waiting for you to notice it in the now?